There is a pain we carry within us that is invisible to the eyes of others. It is not the physical pain that we can show or that goes away with time. It is the pain that remains in your heart, the weight you feel even when no one else is around. It is the pain of betrayal, of lies, of someone you trusted deeply, who without warning hurt you in ways you never imagined possible. It is that cold stare, that cutting indifference that comes from someone you would give anything for. And worst of all, the feeling that after everything that has happened, the other person carries on as if nothing had happened, as if the wounds were not their own. Have you ever wondered if the universe really lets that pain go away without asking a price? Will the person who caused you so much pain get away with it without ever thinking about the consequences of their actions? This is something that stays in our minds and hearts, even when we try to forget. It stays with you until somehow the truth comes out. And that truth is simple. No one hurts a true heart and comes out unscathed. It may seem like everything has gone silent, but life has a way of taking what it's owed and adjusting things in ways we can't control. Stay with me until the end, because by the time you hear this, you may learn something new about how to deal with the pain that's been inflicted on you. You gave yourself, you opened your heart and trusted, but what did you get in return? Silence, contempt, humiliation, and even worse, the person you valued and believed in most didn't think twice about hurting and injuring you, as if it were the easiest thing in the world and the cruelest thing. After all that person moved on as if they had done nothing wrong, as if the words and attitudes that hurt you were simple mistakes that would soon be forgotten. Indifference was the knife. Pride was the salt rubbed into the wound. But I need to tell you something important. No matter how real the pain, no matter how much the silence and indifference of those who hurt you hurt, no one gets away with it. Not deep down, not in the way that matters. No one hurts a sincere heart without sooner or later a price to pay. You may not see this right away. It may take time for the truth to come out, but it will. The universe, with its wisdom, always puts things in their rightful place. Stoic philosophy teaches us something powerful. We cannot control what others do to us. Other people's actions are beyond our control. But what we do have complete control over is our response. How we respond to what is done to us, how we deal with pain and injustice is our choice. And in that response lies true freedom, true strength. It doesn't matter what they tried to do to you. What really matters is how you get up and how you move forward. What they did may have left a mark, but scars don't define who you are. What makes you is how you deal with the pain, how it changes you, and how you move forward with even more strength and wisdom. Epictetus taught us a profound truth. It's not things that hurt us, but the way we see them. Often the pain we feel stems from our own interpretation of events. For example, you may think you're not well enough to trust and open your heart, but in reality, your ability to feel deeply is an immense strength. It's a rare skill that few have the courage to cultivate. People who hurt others with indifference or cruelty only reveal the poverty of their own soul. What hurts now is the impression that evil has triumphed, that those who act coldly and dishonestly are gaining the upper hand and winning the battle. But this is only a temporary illusion. Life is a cycle, and everything we do, good or bad, comes back in some way. And when it comes back stronger and more intense. Those who manipulate the feelings of others, who play with other people's hearts, will one day know the bitter taste of loneliness, the lack of genuine affection, the coldness they once used as a weapon. At some point, that same coldness will become a prison. What they inflicted on you, that pain that now seems unbearable, will return to those who hurt you. Not because you want revenge, but because life has its own laws. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be different from those who have hurt us. It's not about fighting back, but about being strong, moving forward, and continuing on the path of growth and self-improvement. As you rebuild yourself, the person who hurt you will confront the emptiness they created, and that emptiness will be far more painful than any external punishment. There is a silent justice in the universe. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand applause, but it acts. When life decides to attack, it does so relentlessly. And you know what's fascinating? As you channel your pain into strength, those who have harmed you begin to suffer in the shadows, with no audience, no support. and a loneliness that hurts far more than any punishment you could wish for. The greatest blow a person who underestimated you can feel is not to see you suffer, but to see you grow in silence, smiling in peace, while they themselves drown in the consequences of their own choices. Time is on your side, and with it, the price of evil always returns, with interest. Evil may even seem to pay off in the short term. Those who lie, cheat, or manipulate can get what they want, at least for a while. But time, oh time, it is a silent collector. It gives no warning. It doesn't knock, it doesn't give second chances. Time simply comes, and when it comes, it takes its toll on everything that was done wrong. The person who hurt you, who seemed to be on top, smiling and enjoying life, will begin to realize that behind that fake smile lies something they can't control: fate. Anything built on lies, deceit, and disrespect is doomed, and when it falls, it will fall hard. He who sows pain reaps despair. And that's not a punishment, it's a natural consequence. Seneca said that the evil we do inevitably comes back to haunt us. Stoicism doesn't preach revenge, but it teaches us to trust in the natural order of things. You don't have to do anything. Life will do the work for you. Just look around and realize how many people who have caused pain to others ended up bitter, lonely, or destroyed inside. The person who scoffed at your commitment, who took advantage of you and left you behind, will one day beg for a spark of the peace you are now building. They will realize that in the end, you won. You not only survived, but you also became stronger. Don't think your pain has gone unnoticed. There's an invisible scale that adjusts everything around you, and when that scale is out of balance, someone pays. Your pain wasn't in vain. It was an investment, not in revenge, but in growth. The stronger you become, the weaker those who took advantage of and hurt you become, because evil is like poison. Those who offer poison to others end up drinking from their own cup. And the worst reproach anyone can face isn't external. It's not a punishment that comes from outside. The worst burden is internal. It's the conscience, the soul, and the heart that cannot escape the pain they caused. True pain is pain that turns against the person who caused it. And that, my friend, is the cruelest punishment there is. In the quietest moments, when night envelops everything, the consciousness begins to scream. In the stillness of morning, when the world seems asleep, the shadows of the past emerge. And these shadows, the ghosts of wrong choices, do not rest. They keep coming back. Believe me, there is no pillow suitable for someone who has destroyed their pure heart, for someone who has hurt someone they simply wanted to truly love. The pain of this consciousness is something deep and hard to ignore. You can even try, but it will scream louder and louder until escape is no longer possible. If you feel left behind and uncared for today, know that this is not a loss. You are not to blame. You are protected. Because those who have the courage to hurt someone with the purity of an innocent heart are actually incurring an emotional debt that the universe will never forgive. The price of the pain they inflict on others is always paid back, and it comes multiplied. When someone steps on the heart of a person who only wanted to give true love, that person is digging up their own downfall without even realizing it. Over time, you realize that the purer the heart, the greater the pain when it is broken. This happens because those who truly love do not love half-heartedly. They love deeply, with all their might, and when they are hurt, the pain is not just superficial, but reaches the deepest layers of their soul. Anyone who tramples on a heart like that doesn't just hurt a person. They destroy the only true connection that ever existed. For those with a pure, genuine heart bring with them a light that many don't understand. Anyone who is able to love without masks, to give themselves without fear, and to believe that reciprocity still exists in this ego-saturated world, offers something rare. And when someone manipulates, betrays, or despises that purity, they don't know that they are causing their own destruction. They are destroying the only thing that truly had value. For in the end, life always reveals that what was despised was, in fact, the most precious of all. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest thinkers, said, "The soul is colored by the color of its thoughts, and those who act cruelly, disrespectfully, or indifferently are gradually consumed from within." There comes a time when the person looks in the mirror and no longer recognizes themselves. They have lost everything, including their essence. Those who hurt others, who destroy heart and soul, first destroy their own character, and that is an irreparable loss. No matter how much they seem to gain now, deep down they have already lost what was most precious to them: their integrity, their humanity. You may think you've lost something important, that it was left behind, but the truth is, you didn't. You were spared. You got rid of what you didn't deserve. When someone steps on a pure heart, that person isn't prepared to handle the light that heart holds. And what are they left with? A vast emptiness, a regret that comes too late. For whoever silences such a pure heart, whoever silences the voice of someone who only wanted to give love, will one day beg to hear again what they lost. And it will be too late, for what was destroyed will never return in the same form. Whoever causes pain to another will one day be consumed by the loneliness they created. The mistake of those who hurt you was believing your kindness was a weakness. They thought they could manipulate you, exploit you, and then discard you without a guilty conscience. What they didn't realize, however, was that the purity of a gentle heart is an invisible force, a raw power camouflaged by the gentleness of their intentions. For those who feel deeply also have the strength to protect themselves. The heart capable of deep love, when wounded, can close irrevocably, and once closed, there's no turning back. You were neither naive in trusting nor weak in loving. You were simply bigger, more magnificent than this person could understand. And now everyone who thought they could step on you must bear the burden of the absence of such a unique human being. The pain of this will be stronger than any revenge you had imagined. This isn't about proving your strength or making this person suffer as much as you did. There's no need to seek justice, because time will do it for you. And time, oh, time is a silent lord, an inexorable judge. At the height of pain, it's natural to desire retribution, to want the person to feel what you felt, and to suffer as you did. The urge for revenge can be overwhelming. But the truth is, true revenge doesn't come from your hands, but from time itself. And when it does, it's far more painful, more precise, and in some ways more just than any plan you could have devised. Time's revenge doesn't scream, it doesn't make a scandal. It destroys by absence, by silence. It reveals a person's worth when it's too late to do anything about it. Those who ignored you will begin to miss you. Those who betrayed you, who despised you, will lose themselves in mistrust and begin to wonder if they can really trust anyone. They will see the emptiness around them, because the absence of the real is more painful than any lie you can tell. And those who played with your heart will finally understand the coldness of regret. As Epictetus said, do not try to make events happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and your life will be tranquil. This is the Stoic principle of inner peace, not controlling what happens, but accepting the natural order of things and trusting that life has its own rhythm. And this is where true strength is revealed. True Stoic strength is allowing the universe to take care of the rest while you focus on growing, rebuilding yourself, and becoming a version of yourself that nothing and no one can touch. True justice isn't revenge that destroys the other. It's a transformation of who you are. It's about becoming someone better than the person who hurt you ever imagined you could be. If you hold on to the pain, the anger, and the desire for revenge, you remain trapped. You keep the pain alive inside you and give power to those who hurt you. But when you let go, when you free yourself and focus on your own growth, the game changes. Time begins to work in your favor. It shapes your strength, it forms your character, and it destroys the ego and arrogance of those who hurt you. The greatest irony is that the person who hurt you will miss you, and they won't be able to do anything about it. They'll watch from afar as your life blossoms, as your peace and happiness grow. And at the same time, their own decisions, their own attitudes will derail their lives. They'll realize they've lost something they'll never find again. And that, my friend, is the revenge of time. Don't put yourself down. Don't waste your energy trying to prove something to someone who doesn't deserve it. Move on. Grow up. Evolve. Because the best revenge is looking back and realizing that everything that once hurt you no longer has power over you. And that's where you'll find your true freedom. And if you like the content, consider becoming a member of the channel. Not only will you be helping the channel, but you'll also have access to exclusive content. Click the link in the description and become a member now. Back to content. And that's what truly destroys anyone who has ever wanted to see you at your lowest, the coldness of the moment and the despair that comes later. Have you ever felt that ice in your soul, that deep emptiness when you realize that someone you love feels absolutely nothing for you? That contempt disguised as cold, calculated indifference? "I'm fine, get on with your life." And with those words, the world seems to crumble. That pain, that lack of empathy is some of the worst we can experience. The ice that comes with contempt is like a blade cutting through the heart, leaving an invisible but everlasting mark. What many don't understand, however, is that this coldness has an expiration date. It doesn't last forever. For those who are cold today, trembling with indifference and arrogance, will feel the weight of loss tomorrow. The game turns, always turns. Coldness, which seemed like such a strong defense, transforms into a silent prison, a trap that destroys those who used it to hurt. Those who use the ice to manipulate, to play with the heart of others, end up risking a lot and losing without realizing it, because time takes its toll. There comes a time when the emotional game changes. The person who thought they were the center of attention, who thought they could act without consequences, begins to fade from the memory of those who hurt them. And what remains? A silent emptiness, a growing need to return, to regain what was lost. But now there is only silence. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best way to take revenge is not to become like your enemy." And that's exactly what happens when you stop begging, chasing, and trying to understand those who never made the effort to understand you. You turn the key, and when you do, power changes hands. Those who were once cold now feel the heat of loss. And this despair doesn't come with screams or explosions. No, it's in the little things, in the memories that arise when the silence is too deep, in the unsent messages, in the conversations that didn't happen, in the gestures that are now missing. Those who freeze will one day experience the ice of their own loneliness, and there will be no one to warm them up to, because whoever mocked your delivery will now beg for a fraction of what you offered for free: love, affection, attention. But when that regret comes, it will be too late. You don't have to respond. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. The time you invest in healing and rebuilding is the same time that undermines the egos of those you left. The universe has a very special way of balancing itself. Those who were ice to you will end up burning with longing. The indifference a person displays will sooner or later turn into desperate need. What seems like abandonment today will tomorrow be the greatest regret in the life of those who failed to appreciate you. And when that regret finally comes, there will be no room for excuses. There will be no more forgiveness. Today's indifference will tomorrow be desperate need. Remember how someone looked at you as if you were disposable. The way they treated your delivery as something small, unimportant. Well, that indifference will return to them with a force they can't imagine. Because no one despises true love without missing it one day. Today it seems as if this person will continue their life happily, full of possibility and surrounded by attention. What they don't yet realize, however, is that no amount of superficial love can fill the void left by someone who gave their all. And time will tell. Masks fall, adventures become empty. False praise loses its luster. And in that moment, in that emptiness, the mind begins to revisit the past. And who will they remember? Seneca said, "There is no favorable wind for those who do not know where they are going. And those who act indifferently and think they have everything under control will get lost. Lose your way, lose your balance. Life has a way of teaching, and it is cruel. It makes the person who has mocked their love feel the pain of absence. One day, they will feel the burden of wanting something they can no longer have, of searching for something that no longer exists. The pain of realizing that what was despised will not return. Lack is ultimately a prison, but not for those who feel healthy homesickness, certain that time will bring peace. No, it's a prison for those who had everything and didn't appreciate it. Those who were indifferent wake up in the middle of the night, a lump in their throat, missing what's gone. They'll remember the conversations, the hugs, the simple gestures that are no longer there. And in that moment they realize you weren't weak, you were rare. While you heal, grow, and learn to love yourself, that person enters a vicious cycle of loss, searching in vain for what they had with you, unable to find it. Because the connection you had, the commitment you gave was unique. And that, my friend, never happens again. The absence of it will lead to despair. But there's something important to understand. If you've been trying to step out of your comfort zone and learn more for a long time but still haven't succeeded, there may be something you're not aware of. I know what it could be. It's fear. Fear is like a snake that comes silently and influences you without you noticing. It makes you feel bad for days, months, and even years. Living like this is like being constantly sick. But I know a solution. Stoic philosophers and modern psychology have a way to eliminate this. I myself managed to cure myself of this fear. I made a video explaining how to get rid of this evil, and it's in the first comment. Click the link in the first comment and begin healing this feeling of fear. So don't worry about how things look now. Time will change everything. Those who act coldly today will beg for some of the warmth you offered for free tomorrow. The difference is that in this case, you're no longer there. And that absence will be the true punishment. Life requires cruelty, and those who mocked your pain will one day experience similar pain. Life does that, and for those who have forgotten how to treat those who gave their best, there's no escape. Or perhaps worst of all, not because you want it to, but because the universe has a tireless way of balancing itself. Epictetus said, "The true measure of a person is not how they behave in moments of ease and comfort, but how they behave in times of challenge and controversy." And those who act with contempt in the face of the suffering of others, who feel justified in manipulating or ignoring it, reveal not strength, but a deep weakness of soul. Life, my friends, does not forgive those who mock the pain of others. Today, this person may be living in a bubble of control, believing they can escape the consequences, but time doesn't lie. He who seems slow and silent is always attacking, and will leave her in situations where she will be ignored, despised, and hurt, just as he did to you. And in that moment, she will remember you, your appearance, your vulnerability. You will feel the pain she caused you in your own skin, but now there will be no one by your side to offer the comfort she never gave you. Don't underestimate the power of time. It is silent, but also ruthless. Today's arrogance will be tomorrow's humiliation. And what once seemed like mockery, unpunished contempt, will turn into crying hidden in the pillow. He who hurts without guilt and with a hidden smile will one day beg for forgiveness. But no matter how much he begs, there will be no forgiveness. Life teaches, yes, but not always with tenderness. Sometimes it teaches with the shock of loss, with loneliness. And in the meantime, you will be changed. Not only stronger, but also more aware, more selective, and maybe even a little cold. Not out of malice, but out of wisdom. You have learned, you have grown, and now those who saw you as weak will finally recognize the greatness they have been missing. But in the end, it will be too late. The best response to someone making fun of your pain is to be so happy, so at peace with yourself, and so fulfilled that the simple fact of your existence becomes the greatest reminder of what that person threw away. That is priceless. While you are evolving, deep down that person is rotting from the inside out. There is something powerful about those who choose to evolve quietly, without fanfare, and without the need for validation. While the other person tries to fill your void with fleeting distractions, you are healing, polishing yourself, and growing stronger with each step. Every tear you held back, every trifle you swallowed, became energy and focus. And while you're rebuilding yourself, that person slowly begins to rot from the inside, like a fruit that looks perfect on the outside, but is rotten at its core. They may even look like they're smiling now, but we know smiling isn't the same as peace. Many people smile on the outside, but scream on the inside. And the mind is unforgiving. It replays scenes, re-examines decisions, and expresses regrets like a never-ending movie. And in that moment, when loneliness begins to hurt, those who have ignored you until now will feel the weight of their own indifference. Marcus Aurelius said, The soul is polluted by what it allows to enter, and those who constantly hurt, deceive, and manipulate only poison themselves without realizing it. It may take a while, but eventually the poison will spread, and when that happens, not even therapy can save it. Because anyone who has lost a true person, who has despised the real thing, carries that regret like a tattoo on their soul, a tattoo visible only to those who truly feel it. And in the meantime, you move up, step by step. We evolve, become more selective, more strategic, and more confident. You no longer have to shout to be heard. Your presence speaks for itself. Then your absence hurts, and those who previously saw you as replaceable will now realize how irreplaceable you were. But time doesn't come back, and neither do you. The cruel irony of life is precisely this. Those who didn't appreciate you when they had the chance will one day beg for a second of your attention, and in that moment, you've already reached another level, because the pain they caused you has shaped you. The rejection pushed you inside, and there you found a strength you never knew existed. You didn't survive. You were reborn. And while that person continues to lose themselves in their own mistakes, you will experience what they will never have: true peace, self-love, and a growth that can't be bought, faked, or imitated. You won, not because you had to defeat anyone, but because you overcame yourself. Have you noticed? The pain they caused you wasn't the end, but the beginning of a profound transformation. Every time you felt small, ignored, or rejected, you were being molded into something greater. Whoever thought they could destroy you actually catapulted you into a new version of yourself. And now everyone who saw you as weak must swallow hard and watch your strength grow. You don't have to wish anyone harm. Just keep going, because time is the master. He takes care of giving everything back. What was mocked will be appreciated. What was rejected will be remembered with regret. And whoever hurt you will feel it. Not because you will do anything, but because the universe does not fail. He watches, he demands, and he delivers. Remember the words of Epictetus: "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react." Your reaction, your attitude toward life, is your power. Your healing is your revenge. Your peace is your victory. And believe me, living well, fully, and truly is the most accurate response there is. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You simply have to live so magnificently that the absence of others becomes completely irrelevant. Now it's up to you. Like this video if it touches your soul. Comment below about what you felt. I want to read your story. And please share it with someone who needs to become aware of this reality. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. In the pinned comment, you'll find exclusive content to further support you on this path to strength and emotional freedom. Remember, you are not alone, and the pain they caused you will return, but not for you. For the one who provoked it.